I feel a bit nervous. Hopefully you understand that. Actually, I did a discipleship training school with Youth with a Mission 32 years ago. And I strongly believed, as I flew to Los Angeles that day, that if I want to become a really good Christian, I need to become a missionary. During the whole time in Los Angeles, I felt like God is telling me that I have to go back to Switzerland and become a businessman. That's what I did. For more than 20 years, I used to have my own consulting company where I consulted and trained and coached small business entrepreneurs in Switzerland, mostly, and Germany. 4 years ago, I got a call from a headhunter. He had a job for me, and I said, I'm independent, I have my own company, why should I switch? And that's how I got to know Jörg Obrecht and BPN. The rest is history. Since 4 years, I'm the CEO of that foundation, and it's the greatest time I've ever had during my business career. So, we do promote small businesses in different countries. And I do thank Willi a lot for this invitation. And I'm very thrilled to be here. And what I experienced this morning, if that continues like this, I don't know how I'm going to fly back home. I have a small little presentation for you, but I want to start with a little story. There was once a little boy, and as more or less every morning, he went down to the kitchen to have breakfast before going to school. Also, this morning, he went towards the door, and while approaching the door, he heard his father with a weepy voice saying to his mother, "You know, I really feel bad. I have such a decrease of turnover in our business that I don't know how to pay the invoices off at the end of the month. Actually, I don't even know how I'm going to do this year because it looks really bad." The boy stepped back, went back to his room, started crying, and after about half an hour he went to school without breakfast. That little boy was me. I grew up in an entrepreneurship family, so I know exactly what I'm talking about when in January the figures are down to zero again. Few words to me. I'm married. I have 2 wonderful girls, grown up, 22 and 24 years old. My wife is working in the healthcare business. And as I've told you, I'm since 4 years the CEO of BPN. As every organization and business has its vision, so does BPN. As Willi has already introduced Jörg. Jörg was invited by a business delegation of economic people to Kyrgyzstan 20 years ago. And he had to instruct them and teach them how to run a business. At the end of this session, they asked him whether he could help them. And he thought in the very first moment, they want my money. But they say, "No, we don't want your money, we want your knowledge." And that night, he woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he felt that calling that he should start letting them know the know-how, and that's how BPN got born. Some of you might heard about this Chinese proverb: give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you'll feed him for life. We as BPN went a bit further and we said, support the fisherman in building a fishing business. And you feed him, his employees, and their families. Unlocking the potential of entrepreneurs in developing countries. That's our business. That's our core service that we offer in different countries we are in. Now I take you on a little journey to give you a little glimpse of our everyday business in Rwanda.
I'm called Paradis Nishimye, and I run a woodworking company. I think pregnancy was the starting point of this business because from the third month of pregnancy, I started looking for furniture for the nursery room. So I couldn't get the crib I wanted. I couldn't get like all the little items I wanted for the baby nursery. So after, I said, I will try to go there myself, sit there the whole day. And when I went, I sat with the carpenters. We started working together. They became a part of it. And finally, we got the furniture for my nursery room. The 9th month of pregnancy was also the end of my contract at work. And I looked for a shop downtown, and I made like some pieces without thinking of who will buy them. After that, everything was sold out. And then after that, an Italian architect for a big hotel called me, said, hey, I saw a few pieces you made for a friend, and I would like to meet you because I had a big project for a hotel. Maybe you can help. I said, I don't have a workshop. He said, no, I don't care if you have a workshop. I only care that you made those pieces. He said, you need to do that for me. So my first contract with him was worth about 15,000 euro. That was my euphoric phase. Everything was perfect, clients were so happy, and I was so excited. After like 3 months, 6 months, I saw someone came in and said, hi, I'm coming from an organization called BPN. We would like to help you. Say, okay. The next week, that's when Alice came. And then the first question she asked me after greeting me, is this a hobby or a business? It was really a question that I didn't have an answer to. And yeah, I struggled finding out if I was doing a business or a hobby. I liked something about her practical approach, rather than just being like, wow, everything is wow, everything is wow. I saw those small details and could directly feel like I was struggling, figuring out if I was doing a business or a hobby. That's my journey. That's when I started business. But BPN, in the first stages, they helped me very much with the personal challenges, like my mindset. They really, from the day I met Alice, I started looking at business from a different angle. BPN helped me a lot. I remember my first training at BPN was time management, which was very, very important. I remember in time management, we were learning to calculate the hours you lose per day corresponds to what amount per day. I shared it with my staff. We need to calculate salaries and remuneration this way. If you come here the whole day and you can't show what you did, or you come here, your phone that's not working, the time management thing really helped me put lines and guidelines at work, which came from 50,000 euro a year from 2015 to 300,000 euro a year now, which came from no permanent employee to having now 22 permanent employees. I think I was very lucky to meet BPN at very early stages of my business. The most important thing that this company benefited from BPN is the change of mindset.
I hope that gave you a small little idea of what we're doing. Our core belief is that we are to help people to help themselves. This is the bottom of our vision. We want to release potential. We support entrepreneurs in the countries we are in. We help them to build their company and to develop it. Our aim is to create jobs by strengthening small businesses, and we try to unlock the perspectives at the end of the day by helping them also to develop their economy in their country. These are the countries we are in so far. We started, as you heard, in Kyrgyzstan, 1999. We are in Mongolia, in Georgia recently since 3 years, in Nicaragua and in Rwanda since 2011. And who knows where else we could go. These are the core services, or the BPN services. The core service is really to help these entrepreneurs to get developed their business. Most of them are up and running since 2 years, 3 years, 8, 10 years, but most of them haven't ever written a business plan, and that's the entrance to our program. If they want to participate of our program, they have to write down a business plan. If they are not able themselves, we definitely help them, that's for sure granted. Since last year, November, we have 2 pilots going on in Kyrgyzstan, as there we have the most entrepreneurs we know and the most experience. It's the BPN Promoting Entrepreneurship. That's where we go to universities and recruit students in their last year before their graduation, finding out whether they could be interested in building their own business. We help them by educating them and by mentoring them towards business entrepreneurs who run through our program. And we are starting to build our expert pool that's really for specialists in their area, in their industry they are in, marketing, finance, for example. They come for a week or 2 to one of our countries, teach maybe a seminar for 2 days, and then do coaching on stage with the entrepreneurs in the country for another 3 days or so. This is our 4-pillar principle. It looks quite easy, but it's quite complex at the end of the day. I would say far most important part is the values, the fundament of the house. The values are Christian values, and I always say, if people ask me, what is your USP, your unique sales proposal? It's definitely the values, because it's 50% about mind changing, about getting a new attitude towards business, life, working, and so on. And on that, we have these 4 pillars: coaching, access to finance. We help them to become member of a business owner association where they do treat local problems with local consultants, and we give them training. All this with the goal to develop their business. This is the structure of our seminars. We have basic workshops, basic seminars, and individual seminars. If an entrepreneur wants to start with the program that goes from 2 to 4 years, it's on a modular basis where he can decide himself when he wants to go in which seminary, but if he enters into the program, he has to literally sign up a contract to really make sure that he is willing to do what he said yes to, and then he runs all these seminars. I'm often asked about input, output, outcome, impact. Does that do any good what you're doing in these countries? You're only a small little foundation. It's true, we are a small little foundation, but we are willing to go also the 2nd or even the 3rd mile with the entrepreneur. And that's definitely why we have a great impact being a small foundation. These are a few figures to illustrate that. We have obtained approximately, and half of them created, about 24,000 jobs. And if you take the biggest number, 116,000, this is the number that family members have indirectly or directly been supported through our work. And this is, for you in South Africa, I know this is different, but for us in Switzerland, it's a small, medium town of Switzerland that has been influenced. So to us, this means a bit something. Let you read this about entrepreneurship and the demographic dividend, that we all know that we are right in the midst of it, especially also in Africa. Entrepreneurship needs to be effective, ingenious, diverse, inclusive, and has to enable the people. So if we help people to help themselves to create jobs, to maintain jobs, and to develop their business, and we're talking about businesses with workplaces 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 25. Someone might ask, how are you financed? By fundraising. I'm chasing every year about 3 million Swiss francs of fundraising money in order to be able to continue next year. So we are fully supported by people who believe in our work. This might be a foundation, this might be a personal investor or donor, this might be a small, medium enterprise, mostly Switzerland today, Germany and Austria. You can do that through an entrepreneur sponsorship, through a country donation. Might be that you say, well, Rwanda, Africa is a country I have a personal affiliation, so you might donate something for Rwanda. And we have about 35 Founder Circle members. These are individuals who are willing and able to pay between 10,000 and 50,000 francs each year for at least 4 years. Most of them continue afterwards, thank God. And I need to give you another glimpse from our everyday life.
My name is Jocelyn Umutoniwase. I'm a fashion designer located here in Kigali. I have a fashion brand called Rwanda Clothing. So the same year in 2012 when we started, after around 6 months I think, I was creating a collection. It was a competition which was planned by Minicom, is a Ministry of Commerce here. Someone came and told me, Jocelyn, you have to participate. Fine, I have pieces which are ready. I can go and present them, and if they accept it, I would participate. I ended up being the first. I won that competition in 2012. And during the award evening, that's when I met Alice from BPN. Yeah, we exchanged cards, and then the next week she came to visit me at the small production we had. And from there, actually, I was one of the first to work with BPN, so I was one of the first students they had. When Alice and the crew from BPN came to visit me, I was very happy first because they were really interested in my business. The first training we had, they wanted to teach us on the business plan. First, they wanted really to know from us what we want. Everything we were putting in the business plan, we had to review it with them. So the first section was to help us to trim it a little bit, to be realistic, to plan according to maybe, let's say, the next 3 years, that's what I'm gonna achieve, and this is how I'm planning to achieve it. The next 5 years will be this. So they really helped us to do step by step. And then after those a few sessions we did with Alice and Hans, we accepted to join the first trainings for time management. The first 2 tellers we had, when we added 2 more, and then we added 2 more again, we had 6. And it became a little bit of a problem for us to manage the time and to schedule ourselves. And the business was growing quite fast. We had more customers coming, and we had to know, how to schedule our production, how to plan, the fittings and stuff like that. I remember we used to start 8:30, and the first outfit will be on the sewing machine around 10:30. We stayed time to cut and time to do the pressing and everything. It would really take forever. And then at the end of the day, we don't have an outfit. We couldn't count one cloth, one dress, or one outfit a day. But then when I attend the time management, I really decided to change all the schedules. So we start now 7:30, and by 8, I'm pretty sure that the first outfits are already on the sewing machine. The second course was finance management. Of course, after 6 months when the company was operating, we already grew into, I think, around 7 people. So it was at the end of the year. When I started with BPN, I had 2. And then after all the trainings and the production, I was moving to 6, I think 7, if I remember very well. And then I needed really to manage how to pay them, which type of contracts, and also financially, what do I buy more? What do I buy more? What do I buy less? Which type of sewing machine do I buy? Where to invest the income we were getting in that time? So, and that course was the right time to take. It was there for the right time, and I took it also. To anyone who have contributed to the growth of BPN and supported us, maybe indirectly, and most of them, they don't know us, but that support have made a really tremendous change into our lives, plus also into the lives of so many other people who works with us. So I feel really happy, and most of the business BPN members, I've already met them. Somehow they visited Rwanda, but I feel like what they've done through training people around the world in business and give them the opportunity to grow, it's something really incredible, and I'm happy. Yeah.
I encourage you to have a look at our website, ppn.ch. There you'll find an English version. And I encourage you to have a look at all these testimonials. There are heaps of testimonials of entrepreneurs. Every now and then we also fail. I don't want to be standing up here by telling you we're all perfect, by far. But if we look at our statistic with the entrepreneurs that are going through our program, we are around about 92% that have good results to top results. And this gives us a lot of encouragement to continue, maybe in other countries. Thank you very much for your attention.
Good morning, Willi.
Good morning, Ken.
Great to talk to you again today and meet you earlier. A couple of questions and thoughts for you based on our BPN talk yesterday that you did. You told us about your story a little bit and how you were the son of a small business owner yourself. And as you look at your life now and your career, can you call it a calling?
Definitely, I can call it a calling. Actually, over all these years that I've been in the business world, I sensed that always as a confirmation during my daily work, and especially over the last 4 years, as I told you already yesterday, my best years in my business career.
Yeah. So what motivates you to work in this sector of business? And I know you're promoting small business, helping young beginning entrepreneurs do what they do. What's your motivation? And on to that, tag on, what are the biggest challenges to that?
Yes. Good question. Not too easy to answer, but definitely the biggest part of the daily motivation is the intrinsic part, because we get so many testimonials from business people who succeed or who have problems and then come back to us, and we can help them and coach them, and this is just incredible to see how they come from A to B to Z to Z. And coming to the next part of your question, challenges. Finding the entrepreneurs who are willing and ready to enter in our program and to finish it, because it's 2 to 4 years.
Right. Let's reset this just for a moment, Will. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, are we all tracking here for a moment? So, if I understand this correctly, you come alongside a young entrepreneur who has maybe a beginning business or it's at one level, and you help them take it to the next level. That's what you do. That's your heart.
Correct. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So, you put resources and time and donations all into this person, this individual. Is that something that you just kind of come in, help them a little bit, and then you're on your way to somebody else? Or
Nope.
It's not that?
No, definitely not.
Tell me what it is.
Usually I always say if we enter into a new BPN land, you have us. That means we remain. It's never a project that starts and ends at a certain period. But you see that with our country in Kyrgyzstan. We entered there 20 years ago and we're still there. And there is still potential. And so I strongly believe that this is the USP of an NGO if you don't do just project work. Nothing against project work, but I've seen so many projects who went very well, and after the end, so-called, they ended also.
So you're there for the long term?
Yes, our vision is long-term, definitely.
Yeah, so you do impact measurements and studies to look at what you're doing and improve it and make it better, and you do that with your, I don't know if clients is the right word or not, but those you come alongside and serve.
Yes, we had actually last year a company from the UK who does nothing else than impact measurement. And that was quite a risk because as I asked them to do that with us, there were two ways. Either they would have told us, forget what you're doing because you're doing it in the wrong way, or helping us to do it even better. And thank God it was the second part. It's helping us doing it even better. They went for 3 months to 2 countries and interviewed entrepreneurs and interviewed all our staff, worked a lot with our country directors, big challenge for them. And at the end of the day, they came back with a 15-page report and an awful long list of to-dos now, but it's for the good.
So how can, and then I have just a note written out here, how can BPN support maybe the current initiatives, speak of maybe even South Africa here, South African government and the private sector, tackling high unemployment rates, particularly among youth? What's the remedy? What's the answer? What's your answer for that?
I'm tempted to tell you, ask me again on Sunday morning at the airport, because I've had so many meetings over the last 2 days, and I will continue to have meetings this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow and Friday, together with someone, a project manager of the Swiss Embassy, who is organizing all of that. But what I've seen so far, I think we could really be of big support. I see a lot of paper that has been written about the situation that is occurring in your country today. I see a lot of willingness, but I'm not yet so sure about how to bring that on earth.
I was going to ask you, how does that happen? What can I do? Or I'm a pastor, or some of us here listening to you today. How can we help you make that happen for our nation, for our people? Because that, what a great follow-up from what we just saw, this whole idea of the kingdom coming and empowering, adding value to our communities as the church, believing that the church is called to add value wherever it is. How can we help you do that?
Actually, the question is very basic.
Yeah.
I need 3 things: infrastructure, money, and staff. And from what I've seen over the last years in other countries, it's possible to be done. And as a basic, we need the decision from our board to enter into a new country. But then it's really these 3 things. It's money, staff, and infrastructure, or vice versa.
Yeah. So I guess that would, you're standing ready to help. So you stand ready to help us,
yes,
whoever we are, and I guess it needs to begin with some conversations.
Yes.
You know, that we would contact you, or you, as you're here, and move on, even that there would be some contacts and some conversations, because we don't know the possibility of what could happen with just an idea.
I feel very, very honored and overwhelmed. When I came here this morning, so many people ran up to me and said, I will be in your breakout session tomorrow, and hopefully I have a moment to talk to you. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow and to everything that comes out of it.
Well, I think that's what we do, Willi. I think we find that those moments of conversations, connection, and see what happens and see what the Lord will do to bless you as you continue to look. I know you told me you were looking at 5 countries presently
Yes.
to move into, and South Africa being one of them.
Yes,
So,
correct.
amen. Praise the Lord. Everybody say
Thank
amen.
you very much. Thank you.